Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Brock the Collector here, coming back to you with another video, the first Marvel Legends themed video of 2021. Today, we're going to be talking about the Marvel Legends Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wave. So, this wave has been one that's been up in air for a while now. If you remember back in late September, kind of early October, I remember sending you guys a video your way, going dissecting through some of Rectangular's Marvel Legends leaks, of course, with the more movie figure focus, going through what all of that would mean for 2023 and the future of, this line. As far as these figures go when the product releases that year, I'm sure that he didn't leak all of it, but I will save you guys a lot of. I mean, I'm sure that most of you guys have seen these reveals, but I will save you guys a lot of it and say that he did get this entire wave right. So far he's been proving himself to be pretty credible time and time and again. The only one thing that he didn't see was the bath. So the build a figure. So that's one thing that we can expect to be surprised by with most of these future with most of these waves this year. Those build a figures do not get onto the leak list most of the time nowadays. So today it's February 7th, right? Yes, February 7th. They have revealed the Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania wave, and I'm going to take you through them figure by figure that we're going to be picking up all the movie figures. So let's see. Starting off here, you got the Ant-Man figure. So yeah, um, another. This is the fourth movie Ant-Man that they've done. They've done the one that came in 2015 with the Ultron wave. They did the 2018 one. They packed in a 2019 Ant-Man head with the I think it was the two-pack Hawkeye. And then now we got this one, the Giant Man figures or something separate, I'm considering. But this is our most recent Ant-Man from the movie. And as you can see, it's got a very, very, very beautiful looking suit. That's one thing you're going to be seeing with all of these figures. The texturing on these suits is crazy. This is not one of my favorite movies as far as costume design goes in Marvel. Because really, the Ant-Man suit, it's hard to justify changing it. He's not really like Iron Man. It's not like he has the ability or the means to create all these new suits. I bet it's just Hank tinkering and creating new adjustments, and he always probably just has something new in store cooked up for him. This particular uniform I don't think is my absolute favorite Ant-Man uniform. I think I really liked the first one, but I think my favorite one was probably the Civil War one up until this point. This one is still pretty good looking. It might grow on me depending on how it goes in the movie. I remember one thing I didn't like about these designs were the circular chest thing, but the figure makes it look really good with all these textures like that you see on the figure here. It looks amazing. Like as far as the comic figures go in this wave is split movie and comic. I feel like a lot of the budget went into these movie ones here with these texturing details because this is ridiculous. Each little teeny tiny dot is sculpted, and it's just, I bet that that's gonna look amazing in hand. Even taking a look at some of the older Ant-Mans we got here, you can still see some little texturing like that, but it's not nearly as prevalent as how it looks on this figure. Maybe it's just the saturation or the lighting or whatever, but it looks fantastic, especially here towards the chest where you see the red. This one looks like it was plucked from the screen. This looks just like how I've seen it in the trailers. Look at that. 100% new Ant-Man body, double jointed pinless figure. The controversy with this figure comes in with the head. So we got this wave is not going to be ready in time for the movie. Movie got pushed up about 5 months, and it's hard to do that with figures. It's hard to just speed production up. I bet they're already going as fast as they can to have been able to have this wave be revealed by now. Um, the Ant-Man face sculpt on this figure, a lot of people have been dissing it. It don't look the best, and I'm gonna be honest. Like the Paul Rudd head sculpt here does not look the absolute best that they've done. What I was hoping is that it's a prototype. Like, this isn't really the finished figure. They're probably still gonna have to run through a few more things. It's probably just maybe the hand painted in hand model that they had in the office before they sent it over to the factory. Because if you take a look at the render, that looks good. It doesn't necessarily look 100% like Paul Rudd, but it looks better than I felt that like what it looked like on the figure there, especially towards the eyes. Like I just feel like something really went wrong towards the eyes on this copy that we're seeing here. So we'll have to see they've done good Paul Rudd head sculpts before. A lot of people, hate on the 2018 one that was with the Infinity War wave. I personally didn't think that that one was that bad, but the best one by far was the 2018 10th anniversary wave one. That one looked just like Paul Rudd from 2015. So we'll have to see how this goes. But as for the figure, I mean, look at all this texturing here. It's like the closer you get, the more you reveal. This is by far the most revealing photo of that figure. Beautiful. Here's your box shot. This wave it looks kind of corny in the package. It does look kind of cheap in the photos, the inbox shots, but that's just plastic free packaging in it. Who really cares about that? This one got me real excited. Take a look at this Wasp. Wasp was one of the most notorious peg warmers in recent Marvel Legends history. I mean, shoot, every Walmart, every Walgreens. I guess it just is what it is. Again, as I said before, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a film that was shadowed in the marketing release. You got all these other super great, toyetic, really big blockbuster films like Jurassic Park, and of course Avengers Infinity War that was coming out at the time. So I bet the figures just weren't able to move as much as they did. A very niche thing because you usually only need one Ant-Man and one Wasp. But this figure, it just looks absolutely fantastic. The last Wasp that we got, I also thought was really good, but this one, take a look at this. So of course, we got the double jointed pinless legs. It does not have double jointed pinless arms, which surprised me. I'm assuming it's because of all the detailing they had to put into the sculpt up here. I think that's what it is that's preventing it, but it seems to be getting good range regardless. I mean, yeah, look at that. That's pretty good range for Wasp. Taking a look at the more finer details of the suit here, you can see it's rocking a more comic accurate color scheme as far as the black and yellow. I believe the last version had a more light blue, sort of navy blue undersuit with the golden highlights. This one, as you can see, it's yellow and black, which I think is a really cool design change, especially as these more recent phases have been trying to pull more inspiration from the comics with the uniforms. I don't know anything about the blue striping. I mean, I haven't read most comics, most Marvel comics, so I don't know if that's particularly plucking from one design or the other, but I guess it is kind of an homage to the blue that was on the last Wasp suit in a way. As you can see here, there's the figure without the wings, sort of just in a more standing pose. It looks really good. It looks really good. It looks like a sturdy figure. The only sort of weird thing I have with it though is the masked head sculpt. It doesn't look like there seemed to be enough silver there. I feel like in the most recent photos that we've seen of the movie, the wasp head sculpt does look very it's more silvery than this. You can see they applied some up here, but not down here. This is black looking. So we'll have to see how that looks in the film. I'm curious about that. But I probably wasn't even going to display it with the mass head sculpt anyway. This Evangeline Lilly head sculpt looks pretty freaking good. I can't even lie. It looks pretty good. The digital render makes it look better, but digital renders make everything look better. This masked head sculpt looks fantastic. And I gotta say, um, with the more comic accurate wasp head sculpt, I feel like this is an incentive to put an Evangeline Lilly head up onto your shelf. I hope that the ball peg will be able to accommodate the old head though, because I also feel like that's a really good head. And if some people just like the ponytail better, they'll be able to switch. Because I know that there are some people who really just don't like short haired, women, especially with the figures. I know some people who took their Captain Marvel, Endgame Captain Marvel from a few years ago, like almost 2 years ago now, and switched it out, switched the head out because they just don't like the short hair head, which I mean, this just is what it is. I think it looks great. I think it looks like a nice screen accurate wasp head, unmasked head sculpt. As for the wings, though, the wings themselves look to be reused from the past wasp. I think I remember seeing that the wings of Wasp in the new movie are actually going to have like another third group of wings, another third pair of wings down here that are really small, and I don't think I saw those on any of the promo shots I've seen. I've only taken about 4 promo shots here to put into this slideshow to show y'all, but I don't believe I saw those. So those wings do appear to be reused. We'll have to see in the film though. But no, this Wasp figure looks fantastic. I just think that that's amazing. Look at that. Ooh wee! Again, just like Ant Man, not lacking with the sculpted detail. Beautiful, and that's a pretty big hint at the bath as you'll be seeing here. Here's the kicker that a lot of people was looking forward to. You got your Kang the Conqueror first, technically the first Kang figure, not the first, Kang variant, I guess, but the first actual King the Conqueror figure we are getting into the line. Probably most definitely isn't going to be the last, or MCU figure anyway. This figure looks, it really does look like super duper good. Again, the textured sculpted detail, that is one thing that they never skip out on movie figures, never really had, and this is no exception. Look at that sculpted detail. Look at just the sculpt on this figure is fantastic. Do not even get me started on this Kang head sculpt we are seeing here. That looks almost perfect. This is probably already a contender for top 10 figure of the year, Marvel Legends wise. You're gonna have to try hard to beat that head sculpt presentation there. That is already boosting the figure up by a lot. This is the figure that a lot of people are looking forward to in the wave, simply just not just because of like the anticipation behind Kang and how great the figure looks, but also just because like Jonathan Majors just seems to be able to kill it with this villain role, as we're seeing in trailers and everything like that. And the costume design mainly is one of the huge appeals. This costume design is deliciously comic accurate, it takes all the cues and kind of modernizes it in a live action setting. This really does look like a live action King the Conqueror without looking, a bit too realistic interpretation, because he's supposed to be crazy, he's supposed to be wacky looking, and he's also supposed to be menacing, and that head sculpt looks amazing. This looked like you just plucked it from the screen. Only nitpicks I had with this figure, I was actually discussing with my boy Jackson, who has just started a YouTube channel recently. He's gotten a few videos uploaded, one of them already passing 100 views. Check him out, Jackson Studios on YouTube. Get him to 100 subscribers, please. I will leave a link in the description below. But me and him were talking, and I remember he had sent me these photos while I was in class, and I was like, I was trying to get a look at the figure, and I was wondering like, if these limbs looked a bit skinny, because as you guys know, Jonathan Majors pretty big guy, as you know, you know what I mean. Like he got some muscle going on. Man is literally the Creed villain for the movie this year, so of course he's gonna have to be built, and I feel like they had just made like the limbs on this figure a little bit too skinny, but we'll have to see how that gets proportioned in the movie. I just would have liked to see those limbs a bit thicker. Um, but we'll have to see how that looks. As for everything else, it looks pretty freaking good. The one detriment of this figure in my eyes is the plastic cape. I'm pretty sure that's going to be worked into the sculpt, and you guys know I'm not a big fan of plastic capes. I feel like if Black Series would have done that cloth cape, yeah, it would have been beautiful. Considering the way they've done some of their Vader robes, it might have been too big, but at least you could actually articulate it. I just think that the plastic cape is the one thing that's sort of, I don't know, weighing this figure down for me a little bit. But I should be all right with it. It should be fine. Let's peep it. Look at that head sculpt, man. That is just ridiculous. Do you see that? Jesus. Another lack, or something else that this figure was lacking in my eyes, was accessories. I had really hoped that it would come with, you remember those hand effects that the Loki figure, the Richard E. Grant Loki figure had from the end of last year that I was gushing about. Oh crap! I still haven't made my top 10 Marvel Legends 2022, have I? This weekend for sure. Anyways, you guys remember those hand sculpts with those magic effects? I would have liked to see something like that with this figure, especially as you could see in the trailer, those blue effects that he's just spewing out over there. He's just launching at whoever it was that he was fighting. I wish we could have seen that. Another thing I wish we could have seen is a more like an actual King the Conqueror head sculpt, Jonathan Majors head down there. I bet that this wave was rushed pretty quickly. So I bet that they weren't able to squeeze absolutely everything in there that they wanted to, but it's unfortunate that we won't be seeing that. However, hopefully you can exchange your He Who Remains head with this, to be fair. But honestly, this head sculpt looks so good. I probably would have posed it with that anyway. It just would have been nice to have the option. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at your King the Conqueror figure right there. Beautiful, beautiful. And also your Cassie head, which we will get to now. So the builder figure for this wave, which surprised me, is a Marvel Legends, I think her name is Stature, is the name of the actual hero, but this is Cassie Lang in her actual hero suit. So we've seen Cassie grow up. I think when we first saw her, we first saw her in Ant-Man 2015. She was like 7 or 9 or something like that. She was quite young. and now here she is. She's about 17, 18, something like that. We have seen her pass through many actresses. Of course, the legacy actress being, I believe her name is Cassie Lang, actress. Let's see. The legacy actress for Cassie Lane is definitely still Abby Ryder Fortson from Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. But we'd also seen her get changed after she had survived the blip, and she goes through that 5-year time jump. We get to see her played by Emma Fuhrman, who we had thought were going to be playing was going to be playing a Stinger, or who would be playing Stinger in the future, but it turns out that Stinger is actually going to be played by Catherine Newton in this film. So as you can see, this it's the Cassie Lane persona is one that has been adopted by several actresses, but I feel like Catherine Newton is going to blow it out of the park, and the suit here looks really, really, really good. This figure is a build a figure, so it's going to be more proportioned, like a lot larger. I reckon maybe smaller than the Ant-Man or the Giant Man build a figure slash deluxe figure we have gotten a couple years back a few times, but also quite a bit larger than your regular Marvel Legend. I didn't add the photo of her standing next to the Ant-Man in the slideshow, but if you just want some reference, I mean, like, just take a look at her leg there. You can already see that is going to be an intimidating figure. You can see the leg already comes up to about the height of Evangeline Lilly's, like, upper torso. So it's definitely not going to be a small build a figure, probably going to be very tall. And I think you'll want her posed with the rest of your Quantumania figures. When I had first seen this figure, I really thought that it was a regular release Marvel Legend figure. I was looking for the bath because I feel like a lot of people, most people thought that the bath was going to be Modoc. Turns out that it's not Modoc. It is our Cassie figure here. But to be fair, the build a figure looks really good. Look at the texturing, sculpted detail. You can see she is even rocking the double ab crunch. It's hard to see there, but you can kind of see it coming forward. I bet that that's just the more detail that you can incorporate when you're working with a larger figure like this. Double jointed, pinless, and she does come with an unmasked head sculpt. Even though she's huge, that head sculpt looks freaking amazing. And I guess it's because you can incorporate more details as the head gets larger. That looks fantastic. Again, the choice of her as a build a figure is pretty shocking because, I mean, shoot, and there are a lot of other figures that are a lot of other characters that are going to be in this movie you might think would be able to be the build a figure, but I bet that she must have some extended role in this size in order for her to be the build a figure in the wave. I highly doubt that she's just going to be large for just a couple seconds and then they decided to make the build a figure off of that. But who knows? I mean, shoot, Rintrah was the build a figure for the Doctor Strange wave. Anyway, yeah, no, take a look at that figure. It looks really good. Super excited to get that. Purple's one of my favorite colors. So seeing that on a Marvel Legends figure, it's always nice. It's always welcome. That looks good. There's her holding the helmet. Yes, sir. Looking forward to that figure, man. Beautifully sculpted detail. There's your wave assortment. So as you can see, it's pretty light on the movie figures. We only got 3 movie figures here, and the rest are a comic assortment. So of course you can pick and choose. It's slowly you get about half of the way for the movie collectors and half of the way for the comic collectors. And I feel like you do got some pretty good selection down there. As with them re-releasing the Ultron, and you got a ton of these other characters. I remember Marvel's Egghead was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I do remember that. But these guys who I don't know. But that's pretty cool. We'll have to see about that. I highly doubt that they're not going to scale back down this Cassie figure just to have a regular scaled Cassie with the rest of your Ant-Man and the Wasp people. So I bet we're going to be seeing more Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania figures here soon. Probably just going to have to give them some time. Hopefully we get a Janet Van Dyne and, Hank Pym soon, hopefully. But I feel like that's ought to conclude my thoughts on this Marvel Legends wave. Please tell me, guys, what you think in the comment section below. Stay safe out there and look forward to my 2022 best of Marvel Legends. Personal favorite, of course, speaking, because you got to be emphasizing that nowadays. Thank you guys so very much. This wave is set to release in summer 2023, so keep an eye out for the pre-orders tomorrow, and I will see you all next time. I'll be sure to get a video out on this wave as soon as we get it in hand. But honestly, nowadays it's looking like the Guardians wave finna be here faster. But we'll have to see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Always remember to be the best, and I'll catch you all next time.